What's going on? All right, so we are off on a maiden voyage for the van. I need to name this thing, I've decided. I'm really bad at that. I've never named any vehicle I've ever owned. I know, like, the popular thing to do is to name them after women. Although, in 2021, that's probably not very... That's a big dually. In 2021, that's probably not very PC. That's okay, because I'm not a very PC guy. We are off. Maiden Voyage. It's a little late in the day. We're not going to get there till about 8:30 tonight. It's about 2.5 hours away. It's a place called Beaver Mines Lakes. I'd never heard of it. I am going out there. I am meeting my cousin and her kid. This was all her idea. She's a huge camper. Oh, wave at the people that are proper socially distancing. Yeah, so she's a big camper. She booked the site, and I figured now is the best time to get the van out there and just do it. Now, this isn't going to be any sort of standard for what it will be like to live in the van full time. It's still very much going to be under the trope of this is a camping trip, and the van is loaded up for camping. But hey, we've not spent the last 3.5 months building the interior and building a sink in here to not test it out. Weather is nice. Aside from tonight, it's supposed to be quite chilly. My phone battery is very low, so I will be charging that up, and I'm going to be listening to some music. I picked up... Here's what I found. Oh, Siri thought I was talking to her. How rude. Here come the police. Wave at the police. You look like a nice guy. But this... So it's a 2007 Chevy Express. It's a very base model. There's a radio in here, not even a cassette player, no CD player, and no headphone jack. So that is an FM transmitter. Haven't used one of those since the early 2000s, but it works really well. I was very surprised. So they've clearly come a long way. I remember back in the day when I got one for my very first car before I had a deck in it, it was not good. It would crackle in and out constantly, and it was just very bad sort of connection, and the music quality was garbage. This, I mean, it's still, the music quality is not great. It'd be much better to have a deck in here, but beggars can't be choosers, and that is not a necessity. Some people would say it's a necessity. I can't say it's a necessity. I love my music, but if I can find a cheap way of listening to it, the better. It is windy, and dirt is blowing all over the road up there. Holy Dinah. But anyway, yeah. So we're headed out there to meet Lindsay. Like I said, about 2.5 hours. I will check back in with you guys, well, shortly. But of course, we've got to make a very necessary stop before we leave the city. I didn't even know this was a thing that was happening. She just hands it to me. Hang on, let me get this put away. Okay, so I'm gonna be like, well, this is the beer I got and this is why I got it. And then, you know, sometimes things just happen. It's like, that's gonna be awesome for the vlog. How ridiculous. It's a snapback and everything. I love it. I will rep this all summer long and probably into the winter time. Anyway. I want to mess up the do right now. Like I give a shit. So Lucky Lager, I don't care. That's, judge me all you want. It is the bargain beer if there ever was one. It is my shop beer. It is all I drank the entire summer. I was rebuilding my little brother's Ram's front end. It was always the shop beer. My cousin, who I'm going to meet, will be the first one to absolutely mock me over it, and that's totally fine. She is what you would call a beer connoisseur. Some might call it being a beer snob. I'm not one of those people. This whole thing is about doing stuff on a budget, right? And Lucky is a discounted beer, at least here in Alberta. But I had to try it out. There was a cheaper beer, an 8-pack of a beer called Boxer Pilsner. Now, I don't know if it's the same Boxer that makes the hard root beers or not, but it was $8.50 for 8 beer. So I'm super curious to see how, I'm about to see how gross that is. But honestly, I like those kind of beers. I'm not picky when it comes to beer. I'm just not a big fan of real dark stuff or really, really fancy high shelf beer. Is that a thing? High shelf beer? I should know, I was a bartender for a while. Okay, we're getting gas before we leave. And then I found what I was looking for. Well, that wasn't a lot of gas. Found this just kicking around in my van. Can't remember why it's in here, but that's me. That's Lindsay, the cousin I'm going to camp with this weekend, and that's our grandmother. One of the most influential, I thought that was gonna be so smooth. One of the most influential and important people in my life. That's kind of cool. Memories! See you on the road. But that looks ominous. Thank goodness we're going that way. Oh, I'm already having so much fun. Actually, I am. I'm listening to the new Dropkick Murphys album, which I didn't even realize there was a new Dropkick Murphys album. So, quick update on just me and this whole situation. A while back, I switched my cell plan from Telus to Shaw Mobile. Probably was a mistake. I am saving lots of money, but Shaw's got no coverage unless you're in a major city. So my Google Maps directions ran out real fast, even on the main highway. It just stopped working, and I had to use the text directions and see where I had to turn right, which was on a Township Road 170. So I'm looking at it and I'm watching, and I feel like, well, now was the time when I was supposed to be turning right. And it says the signage, in reality, it says Township Road 170 to the left and 788th Ave to the right, or something like that. And you just kind of have to assume, well, it told me to turn right. It says 170th is that way. This has got to be the right-hand turn. I don't know what causes those discrepancies in road names and whatnot. But either way, oddly enough, it then kicked back into reception when I had to make my next left turn, which was onto this beautiful gravel road. Should have just stuck to the main highways. If all goes to pot like real bad, I do have an actual paper map with me, which is like kind of cool if I have to resort to that. That'd be nice. In this digital age of where we rely on our technology to get us places, going with a provider that's not the greatest probably wasn't the smartest decision. But hey, if it forces me to learn new ways of finding my way around, I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with being on this bloody gravel road, considering I still need to do the shocks on this thing. This drive is beautiful. I wanted to stop and get out and take some shots and talk to you outside, but it is windy as shit. So we're not gonna do that. We're just gonna keep pressing on through. I was like, why does this all seem so familiar? Because I swear I'd never been this way before, but I have been. This is the way I came when I drove to Tacoma to Seattle. So yeah, 2 major trips to my Tacoma, Seattle, and Chicago. I've talked about them both now officially. But yeah, this was the way that I took to get to Spokane, which was my first stop. And this is through, what highway am I on? I'm headed towards the Crow's Nest Pass, which is Highway 3. I'm on 22. That's what I'm on Highway 22. Yeah, this is beautiful. If all of Alberta looked like this everywhere, I'd love the entire province. It just gets a little too flat the further east you go. But this place is these are just breathtaking drives. Like, what? You need to do this more often. This is what it's all about. Oh, and I'm listening to a new band. Oh, I don't remember what they're called. Oh no. Hang on. Patty and the Rats. That's what they're called. I had never heard of them before. It was a suggestion on Apple Music when I found the new Dropkick album, I think. This album that I listened to by them is really good. If you like stuff like Dropkick Murphy, Flogging Molly's, the Dreadnoughts, the Tossers, or Real Mackenzies, they're very similar to them. If you like feeling like a pirate, I recommend them. But similar to the Rum Jacks, with a twist or like a hint of like Enya and Ed Sheeran on a few of their tracks. So if you like the music from like the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit and Pirates, Patty and the Rats just might be the band for you. Not a movie review channel. Not a music review channel, but I'm suggesting it. rolled into Beaver Mines, which is a hamlet here in Alberta. It's also touted as a ghost town when you look it up on Wikipedia, but ghost towns to me are like places like Sandon, BC, where there's literally 1 or 2 people living. There are lots of people here with very nice houses and very expensive cars, so I don't know about ghost town proper. Again, my camera's just gonna be this way. So I'm gonna top it up, and then, I don't know, I think it's maybe 20 minutes still to the campground. Never mind, they're closed. They close at 7, and it's 8:12. So it's fine. There's more than enough gas, and I just like to have a full tank of gas. But let's go. Oh no, I missed it. Hopefully it's still there. I don't know what it is. I think it's like a little pub or something. It's called Stella's. That was cute. Oh, good, another gravel road. Man, it's a dusty one. This is going to be a real good test. I wanted this trip. I don't want to move the camera. I need to pay attention. But I wanted this trip to, well, be a time to, hang out with my cousin and enjoy some first camping of the season, but also to figure out certain things I might need for the Jeep. I used to be a Jeep guy. Certain things I might need for the van, or certain things here and there, what quirks might need to be sorted out. I'm really hoping weather stripping isn't one of them, because if that's the case, that means I'm gonna get to the campsite and all of my stuff in the back is gonna be covered in dust. I'm not a fan of roads like these, unless I'm in a 4x4, like a Jeep. I will say this though, being on roads like this in a vehicle that it's not, like not a 4x4, and one that I put so much work into already, and we're gonna see how well is the sink's anchor's gonna hold up. You definitely drive slower because you don't want shit to break. So that's a positive. Just allow for a little bit more time on either end of the trip.